Hello, my people. How are you all doing there? Welcome to Mike at Night. Glad to have you all on another day. All right, good evening, Rachel. Good to have you. Good evening, Shamin. Usually on at this time. All right, we had no program last week. Sorry about that. I was out of the country, but I'm happy to be back here now. All right. So how are you all doing? Yes, sir. All right. So rock and come in, people. We're going to talk about 6 things that people do that make them be unliked. Let's see if you are guilty of any of them. 6 things that people do. Or we might give you more than that. Jessica Butts, welcome. Rock and come in, Jessica. Rock and come in. Mike at Night is on. Let me ask you to share the live. Just go to the live on your page or your profile and just press like. No, you press share. Press share. That's right. Nicely. All rock and come in, people. Rock and come in. We have a wonderful program for you this evening. So while we're waiting on that, I think I want to help you. Yes, there's a program that we have coming up that I really want people to participate in. And I want to encourage you to sign up for it. Let me see if we have it on if we could see it on the schedule. All right. But anyway, in the meanwhile, you all rock and come in, people. Let's be part of this program. This is the program that we have coming up, my people. Okay. It's a workshop on understanding how the birth order of persons in a family would impact their personality and the way how they relate to each other as siblings in their home. And then it also could predict the kind of career that they are going to go into. Of the 23 presidents of the United States, 21 of them were firstborn. Is that by chance? Most of the well-known comedians are last-born. Is that coincidental? You see? So it takes on a personality in your career, but it also takes on a personality in the person you choose to marry and the people who you get along with or not get along with. It is that powerful. So if you have a firstborn who's a controller, who likes to call the shots, give orders, and so on, and you are married to a firstborn, and you're asking, why is it my husband is such a try to control me? Why is it my wife always trying to tell me what to do? She may be a firstborn. And the struggle that you are experiencing with that person may be because of their birth order. If you understand the birth order, you could correct it, you can settle it, and you can now deal with solving some of the problem that you experience in your relationship. So this program is on Saturday, June 1st, 2024. It's just going to run for about 2 hours from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I want you to try and sign up for it. It is quite affordable. It's TT, $250 or $45 US. It doesn't make sense that you struggle through life and struggle through not understanding why you're not getting along or why things are happening the way they're happening when you could get the answers. So all you need to do is just take a picture of the barcode or the Q code, they call it, that is on the screen. That Q code will take you to the page for you to register. You'll need to have your credit card ready in order to make the registration. Or you can go directly to my Facebook, my website, www.michaelatstewart.com. What did I say? www.michaelatstewart.com, and you are going to just go to upcoming events, and you will see it listed there. and you can register and pay one time and secure your place. It is going to be quite an interesting discussion when we explain to you how booth order affects the relationships and affect you on the job, affect your personality. And there are some people need a personality makeover. Yes. So we are here to help you to do all of that. Okay. So I will tell you more about it as we go into the program. Let me welcome Timothy Benjamin. Nice having you. Yes, Josiane, you can come in. I was with Josiane last week. I had a wonderful time being with her and visiting her school and chatting with some of the students in her school. Welcome, Josiane. Sheila Thomas, North Carolina. Just got off work. Okay, Sheila, I hope you're not driving and texting. Wish you a safe journey home. Good evening, Candice Alexander. All right. Sharon, Andrews, what can come in? What can come in, Sharon? Nicely. So we're talking about 6 things, and we may give you more if we have time, that make people dislike us. You know, there are certain social graces that we must have, social skills we must have when we're interacting with people that makes us get along well in a civil social society. And I want to talk to you about some of those. This is an article written by a psychology article, and it is so cutting edge. It is really written in this month, May 2024. And it shows that apparently it is something that is topical, that people need to know about, as to what's happening whenever people go out. You go out on a first date, and there are some people turn you off with some of the things they do and say, or you're in a social group, and things just don't go well, or the person doesn't come across to you in a way that makes you feel that this is a pleasant encounter that you're having. So I will go into it, but let me tell you one of the pet peeves that I want to chat about. Along the same line, because I'm putting in mind with this psychologist and so on, I'm putting in my own 2 cents, my own beef, they call it. Yes, Charmaine, the students are running late today. We just had a hiatus last week, and you see people walking in this place here anytime. You see how indiscipline take over in this place. But what can we say? That's how some people are. All right. Yes, Ted. Ted said we start early as usual. Yeah? That's your excuse when you're coming in late. All right. So my pet peeve that cause people to dislike some people and dislike going out with them and having interaction with them. You know what it is to go and you spend money in a restaurant and you ask somebody to order what they want and let them eat and so on, and you feel proud to pay the bill because you took them out, you want them to have a nice time. And then they turn around and criticize the meal, criticize the food. I think sometimes they think that it is not you who make it, so therefore you shouldn't take it personally. But it doesn't come across good after you spend the money and you're trying to make the person feel special on that day. And they spend the time talking about how the restaurant was so dirty, things wasn't tasting good, the food was too salty, it had too much pepper, food was cold, and so on. When you go out, my dear people, and you are sponsored and you're not paying your own bill, hush your mouth. You understand me? Just say thank you, be gracious, and go home. You don't need to say all of those stuff then. It doesn't come across good. It makes the person regret that they bring him. Make the person regret that they took you in that space. But I need to be honest. I need to be upfront. There is no need to be honest with that. Take a little saying that I usually like giving people. When you speak the truth. But not every truth you need to speak. The Bible says only a fool speaks his whole heart. Just hold back some things there. You understand me? And I know, and all the fellas tell me if I'm not right, that it does bother us when we do all of this to take out a woman and she spend the evening quarreling about the food. Yeah? Take a chill pill, exactly, Shami. You see? Just be gracious, just be nice. You don't have to say everything. You don't have to carry on so. Yes, sir? Me ain't coming back here again. I would never think that. Sir. No. Rhonda McNeil said, if you have nothing good to say, shut up. Hey, that sounds all right to me. I could handle that. Manuelin, St. Thomas. Yes, man. We have people from Carolina. We have people, Grenada. We have people St. Lucia. Beatrice St. Paul. Rock and come in, people. Rock and come in. Share the live, people. Let us have people on the program being part of this evening. All right. So that is one. You don't necessarily have to make a comment on it. All right. So let's it helps to make the evening more pleasant just by letting the evening go along nicely, etc. All right. So that is one. Timothy said he's been there. All right. You know how it does feel. You know how it does feel. The other thing that when you go out on a date or you're out with somebody, there are some things that you're trying not to raise. Don't raise heavy metal stuff, discussion. Let the evening be a pleasant, light evening. Unfortunately, some people, when they want to really talk to their spouse about something that's on their mind, they just go out on a date to do it. Wrong time. Just let this evening be nice and loving and romantic and casual. Let all of us enjoy it. Yeah? It is Portis to do that. Sharon said she's been there. Edwin did an extra critical person is also, in my opinion, very insecure. Yeah, there must be some reason why they're like that. Rhonda is at Trinidadian. All right, Rhonda. Nice, nice. Okay. So, there you have it. Okay, so let me just break for my commercial break here now again. All right, for those who just joined us, we have this program that is coming up. This is helping you to understand how birth order is going to affect your relationship, how it is going to affect the job that you choose, how it's going to affect how you interact with your boss. If your boss is a last born and never taking anything serious, and you are a firstborn and you're a staff, you can't understand why the boss is so unassertive, unassuming. So it bothers you. In your relationship, you will have that birth order syndrome. The middle child, more or less, is a mediator child. That's the child who like to say, let us sit down and solve this, etc. But you have a second born who is always going to challenge a firstborn. Always want to man up, one man up the firstborn. So you'll have sibling rivalry many times between the firstborn and the secondborn. That is who you may marry also, with that kind of personality. So let's talk about that. This program is on June the 1st, 2024. It's just run for 2 hours, 2 to 4 o'clock. It is quite affordable, 250 TT or $45 US. Just take a picture of the Q code or go to my website, www.michael80stewart. Lock down your seat now. All right. Charmaine says she's a middleborn. Charmaine, you need to attend that program. So go ahead and register, miss. All right. So Timothy is talking about what about the cell phones on the table? Well, we come into that, my boy. You have a point there. We're talking about that whole thing about the cell phone. All right. So let's see if we could get the ball rolling. All right. So number one, you see, I put it here for you lazy people who don't like to write and who just walk in late and so on. The people who interrupt you in a conversation. And as I said, this article is written by Alexandra Plesser. And it's on May 8th, article 2024. Right? It's hot off the press. It's used from a psychological standpoint. And what she does is give us a number of things that people do that make us dislike. And the first one that is on the cards is this one that talked about the interruptus person. This person, while you are talking and explaining something, they will cut across your conversation to start their own conversation. You might have just started something. You know, the other day when we had the storm, and they were now about to tell you about the day that they had the storm. But that storm come by us, boy, and hear what I was doing. I was inside of my house, and they take away your story, you know. They interrupt your story, so now you have to wait on them to give theirs first. That is bad manners, poor taste, poor behavior. But we do it so often. It is very annoying when somebody is speaking and you interrupt it and then actually say, not to cut across you, and you cut across them and give your story. That is exactly what you're doing. You see? So, Kenneth Hodge, chef, rock and come in. C. Pasad. All right. Right. So, these people who interrupt, and you might have that in also between spouses. Somebody decide to share with you, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your children, or what have you. And they are offloading their heart, what is on their mind. And you're going to interrupt it and then tell them, hold your thought. That's another thing that people say, hold your thought. And then take the conversation down somewhere else and say, before I forget, let me tell you about this. No, if your memory is so bad, write it down. Now, I'll admit, all of us have had this issue already. Sandra Adams, welcome. Rock and come in, Sandra. Yes, Sandra is in Thomas. So we have a wide group of people from a number of places throughout. Thank you very much. Rhonda McNeil. No, Rhonda says she does that. Well, Rhonda, I appreciate you being franco-ment and authentic. Right? Shawan telling me stick a pin. All right, Shawan, I'm sticking a pin. Yeah, you see? We tell people that. Stick a pin there. And we take over the conversation. Wait. Husband and wife talking, boyfriend and girlfriend talking, and one is telling you, this is the way how I feel about something. You have not even listened to the end of what the person is saying. And you start to answer to what you thought they were going to tell you. Bad manners. There's another Bible verse that some of you may not know. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it is a fool. That is in the Bible. You know much foolish things that the Bible talks about with people. You haven't heard the thing yet and you're giving an answer. So hold on. Candice says, yes, that interrupting really annoys me. It turns me off and I don't feel like talking again. Yep, a lot of people shut down after that. Shut down clean. Because, all right, you go ahead and talk. All right? There are people who want to be the life of the party but end up killing the good vibes. We come into all of that, Timothy. Tonight, we're putting it on the table. We're letting people know that there are some social skills we need to have. Interrupting happens to be one of those that we need to get under control. All right? So we have that one. So let's go to the second one that we want to raise here. It's called phobbing. You see it up there? Where is it? All right. Yeah. Fobbing. Fobbing. Fobbing is the new word that means snubbing with your phone, called fobbing. All right. It is snubbing with your phone, which means I'm talking to you and you are busy on a video game or your cell phone. Push it away. You see? Or you're scrolling. I admit, yes. All of those who know me, I know I'm hearing all you're saying. But Michael, you just do it. I have been working on it, and if all you have been watching me, always see me working on it. You see, sometimes I put my phone in my pocket. Sometimes I put it in the drawer of the desk. Sometimes I try to put it away out of sight. I'm trying. But all of us have that issue. And then when it goes ping, even though you put it away, we are still grab it. But the person is talking to us and it comes across disrespectful. It comes across as we trivializing what they have to say. It is distracting. Some people forget their train of thought because we are too busy being distracted by the phone. Yes. Thank you, Josanne. Yes. I admit that. And part of it is because I know my wife listening and I know she be saying that. I'm telling you. Timothy, there are people who want to be the life of the... All right, yes, we read that of it. All right. It's better to fob than to get into an argument. Well, that does cause the argument, Sharon. That same fobbing thing. Now, some people shut down and don't tell you that they don't appreciate you on the phone while they talking it. And sometimes the phone, the volume is on, so you're actually hearing the Facebook that they're going through, and they're hearing all the things that they're doing on it while you are talking to them. No, nobody likes that. I don't know anybody who say, "Oh, I'm glad." And some people are gracious enough to say, "Yes, you go ahead. I understand," and so on. I know that we have some nice, gracious people who do that. But still, we need to be very mindful. It makes us be less than gracious to the person that we're talking to regarding whatever it is. And I know that we have a lot of spouses are upset, frustrated that they cannot have the undivided attention of their partner. They have to compete with somebody else on the phone and something else. And one of the things that we tend to do is that when we're talking to somebody and the phone rings, we take the call and put the person we're talking to face on hold, because we give more credence to an instrument than we do to a human being. I shared some time ago, for those of you who have been following and have been aware of some of the illustrations I gave. I went to the bank one day. I wanted to see the manager of the bank. They told me that the manager was he was occupied. I said, well, could I wait? They said yes. I waited for more than an hour waiting on the man. I reminded them, could you just tell him that I'm outside waiting just for in case he might have forgotten, and so on. And I waited again, probably another half an hour. So then I know how people are. I picked up my cell phone and called the bank while I'm sitting inside of the bank. I called the bank and I said, I would like to speak with the manager, please. They said, who is it? I said, who it is. And they said, could you hold on, please? And they patched me through to the manager. And I spoke to the manager for less than 5 minutes. Hung up. And I left and went my way. I never told the manager. I was sitting outside his office. But I couldn't talk to him face to face. But I will get him on a cell phone. That's how people are with cell phones. Yeah? That's why, Sharon, I had to do what I had to do. That's how it is. All right? So, we give preference. the cell phone. You'll be talking to your spouse. Let's say you're talking to your spouse on your cell phone, and your spouse is on the other line of the cell phone or landline, and a call comes in. Many times we will say, listen, I have to go because I have somebody on the line. So our spouse have to go on hold. There are times now that you are talking to somebody and your spouse calls it. And then you say to your spouse, I can't talk now because I have somebody on the line waiting on me. We go talk later. So they are again on hold. They're on hold if they call in, and they're on hold if they were on before and somebody else called in. We always give preference to somebody else. Do you think that makes sense? I'm sure many of us are not aware those are some of the things that we do that make us don't come across too nice to people. Because it makes people think I'm not important. Everybody else is. And the worst thing a spouse could feel, and the people in our lives, or children, or parents, or family would feel, is that when we feel everything else is important but them. Chef said there's a social disconnect in the world today, no face-to-face interaction. Yeah. And he's right. That's why people don't even want to go to church now. They want to be able to lie down in a bed with their pajamas and praise God. Do you know in the time of the high priest and so on, there were no chairs in the temple? You had to stand up because worship was supposed to be something that you participated in. Now, don't have a nice cushion chair in church now. Why this digital customer service thing about? I'm not sure what that is. All right, so fobbing is the second one that we wanted to highlight there. And as we say, it is snubbing using the cell phone. So when you're on a date, put it away. Try as much as possible not to use it. Take the sound off. Somebody like me who don't hear sound. I don't hear the sound of the seatbelt when it's off. I don't hear the tick, 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 tick of the phone and so on. But somebody like me had to now try and become very conscious of that. People like the convenience instead of creating authentic relationship. And that is why relationships are so fickle, so loose, so fragile, because we are not getting chance to bond together with people. All right, so let's go to point number 3 now. Upstaging. So if you're just joining us, we are looking at things that people do that make them disliked. Upstaging. What is upstaging? Well, upstaging happens to be where someone is telling you a story and they're telling you the vacation they went on. Like my friend, I doubt if she on Annabella, who gone to Dubai and a number of places, and she comes back now and want to tell you about this story. So she's gone to Dubai. But she started to talk about her vacation. And midway, you take over the story to talk about you have gone to see Paris and Leaning Towers and all of that, and your conversation come up there to show that I also travel. Or somebody's telling you something about a job that they just got, and you have to tell them about a promotion that you got. You're trying to upstage them by showing that you got something more or better than them. You just bought something, a cell phone, and you have to tell them that you got an upgraded iPhone. You just bought a new brand modern Samsung. They have to tell you they got an upgraded iPhone, which means I got something better. So they're always trying to upstage you. Do you know people like that? Tell me if you know of people who tend to do that. that they tend to say things to let themselves look better than you. All right? So let's see what people say in here. They put you on hold for minutes. Yes, that's right. Timothy said I was on the, it seemed as though the internet is, oh, that is what Charmaine meant when she said that Digicel customer service is playing up again. Timothy said I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and in the middle of the call, my wife was calling and put my friend on hold to talk to my wife, and he took offense of that. Well, so what else you want? You understand me? You give priority. You give priority to the people who mean something to you. She hangs up quick to talk to her spouse. That's right. When my wife was in the work environment, and I remember going there already, and the staff says she's in a meeting, but she has said that if ever I come while she's in a meeting, that's the grounds she is going to come out of the meeting in order to chat with me. Yep, she was the manager at the time. And I respected that. I felt nice. I felt good. It boosts your ego. Let you feel as though, hey, you get regard. You understand? So what I'm trying to show here is that we need to put those we care about high on our care list so that they could tell that every time when it comes to them, they are given good regard in every situation above every other thing. That makes people feel nice. But when people feel as though they're down on the totem pole, no, they don't. They don't. All right? So this upstaging is the one we're talking about. So if you start to talk about a medical problem that you have, somebody tries to upstage you to tell you about their medical problem. There was somebody who was telling me that they haven't seen me for a long time and I haven't come and checked them, etc. And I was telling them that I had a major surgery and I was out of commission. So what? They said. So what? I have surgery too, and they went off into their surgery to show that they had a more serious surgery than me. But they weren't calling me. They're not checking me. Even after their surgery, because this surgery that they had was years before, and they haven't been calling me then. But I know telling you that I was out of circulation. I couldn't call you because I had a major surgery. You telling me about your surgery years ago that was worse than mine. All right. That's how some people are. So also if you tell the person that you know you got a recognition in work and somebody give you some prize or recognition for a performance in work, they're going to tell you about how much accolades they got also. Right? God should be high on your care list, no one else. Yeah, man, no, man. You have to have your loved ones high on your care list, man. God, the way you cannot put God high on the care list and put your family off of that care list because God is manifested in our families. The Bible says in Matthew 25, if you have not done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have not done it unto me. And if you have done it to them, you have done it to me. That's how we lift God up high through our families. All right, John. I hope you appreciate that one and you got it from that standpoint too. Ain't nothing wrong with upstaging. Yeah, I don't agree with you. And then narcissistic, Mike, people who always upstage. Yeah, because they like to bring things back into their domain, bring back attention to themselves. So there is some sense of narcissism that takes place there. All right. So which one did we talk about? The upstaging. All right, so let's go now to this one. People who are chronically late. Every time they're late. Not once or twice late and bad, you know. But oh heavens, Every time you have to go out, you're late. Every time you give a promise for something, you either don't show, late. Forgetting. It makes you wonder whether the person values your time while we have to wait on them for whatever it is. And this Alexandria, the author of this article, says that's one of the things that make people dislike us. They may not tell us, but they really get frustrated when they take time as important and precious, and you just taking it and always having them waiting, and waiting. All right. All right, Sharon. Nice, thank you. Rhonda said that is me. Rhonda, are you on the one with lateness, chronic lateness, or upstaging? Because there's a delay on the live broadcast. So you may be talking about a point that I've already moved off of. So I'm not too sure. Shaman said my pet peeve is lateness, and not just for 5 minutes, but long periods of time. Hey, let me tell you, I'm going to tell all that story. True story. And I hope the person there ain't listening to this program right now. But some of you know that I'm a licensed marriage officer. I went to perform a marriage. 9 o'clock the morning, the people said was a marriage. 9 o'clock. It was an outside wedding in an open park, in hot sun, no tents. Because it would have been in the early morning, fairly early morning, the sun would not be up. There was no need for us to be able to have all of that. That's what they felt. 9 o'clock. You know the bridegroom is there. You know what time the bride arrived? I know the bride likes to be fashionably late and all of that and so on, and it's her day. Yes, we understand it. But oh my goodness, there's a limit to this thing. The night before, I went a fishing line with the guys. So I came off the fishing line 6 o'clock in the morning. So I never slept all night. Went straight home, showered, eat, and went and present myself in the wedding for 9 a.m. Tell me what time you think that bride come to her own wedding. All right, all I can guess. 3 o'clock the afternoon. People fell asleep in the car. People run the air condition all day. People even went home. Roseanne, you say 10 o'clock? That is 1 hour. 3 p.m. the afternoon. Here's why she said she was late. She went the morning of the wedding to braid her hair. No, I'm not a woman. But I have seen what those who do it do. I see what the hours my wife, when my wife don't go through all of that now, she international. But I've seen the kind of hours that go into this thing. Why would you braid your hair in the morning of your wedding that is a 9 o'clock wedding? That don't make sense. You understand how those kind of things make a person disliked? And Sandra say she feel I get the time wrong. Me? So what the groom was doing there at that time? If I got it wrong, the groom got it wrong too. And all those other people in the cars got it wrong. Man, and all will think is joke I making, you know. Yes, Timothy, 3 p.m. And Josanne is asking me if I still perform the wedding. You know what they would talk about me if I walked off that wedding, because I was one of those who fell asleep in the car because, as I said, I didn't sleep the night before. But it's not going to go down nice if the license officer walks off and there's no wedding. So I had to take it. So yes, I did perform the wedding. Yes, Sharon, I am dead serious. Dead serious. Sharon said the groom should have called her the wedding. Well, he should have picked up it. And my understanding is that that marriage did not last because of some of those same excesses it may have been. I don't know. All right. Sharon said she was waking 2 hours and she was going to call a taxi and go she way. Was I compensated? No, my boy, these are free things. People don't want to pay preachers for this thing. That was a free thing. Oh, you saw your thing? Man. Anyway, you see why people that get this like chronic late people. No, it's the worst thing for somebody who is a stickler, somebody who is timely, and somebody who always plan their life. To be married to somebody who has no regard for time. It ain't easy for that person, you know. It is not easy. And they're making no attempt to improve. Yeah. So that lateness, my people, chronic late behavior is something that people have to work on. How much time we have? We're at 8:45. All right. I think now is a good time. I should remind those people who just come about my course that is coming up. Yeah, I think all they should. So you could guess from those two people regarding this course that have coming up. I can't remember the birth order of the people, but there's a high chance the man was a firstborn, because firstborn tend to perform in a certain way of responsibility, having been trained to take care of younger children, etc. And he was there on time. But then most grooms are usually there on time. But he seemed to have his thing together. And there's a high chance that this girl would have been a last born. Somebody who just carefree. So we wanted to help you to understand how these birth order issues affect relationships. So we're inviting you to our program on Saturday, the 1st of, it's a Zoom virtual program, by the way. It's a virtual program, it's online, and runs from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It's $250, TT or $45 US, right? So once you make sure that you get your seat, it's a virtual program, so you could be any part of the world and be part of it. Okay, my people? Nice. Sharon says the bride did it on purpose. No wonder the wedding did not last. That's why there's a late fee for lateness on the wedding day. Well, it's something that we could start considering actually, because there are very few weddings that start on time. Mine was one of those few weddings. I had already told the preacher, and that was 38 years ago when we got married. And I told the preacher, as long as my bride is there and the two witnesses, do not wait on the audience. I told him that in advance. So, and my wife is a timely woman, was my girlfriend then. So I know she would have been there on time, and she was there on time. And so by the time I was ready, he came and said, well, you know, the bridesmaid and the entourage not here yet. I said that I'm not getting married to them, sir. The lady I'm getting married is here. Let's start. While we start, the chief bridesmaid running in with one shoe in her hand, another shoe, she hopping, coming speed when she realized things start. No. I'm telling you. Hodge said he's a firstborn and he hates lateness. You see? It's in the personality. It is considered in some circles to be a curse, the spirit of lateness. Okay. I didn't know that. There are some who come late and it's a cool scene, nothing wrong, small thing. In fact, some people actually like getting there late because they become the center of attention when they walk in. everybody get to see them. And I think in many cases, people in high office sometimes do that on purpose. I know that they're busy, but I think they like the idea of people wait for them so that they could walk in. There's one particular politician I know that you'll tell him that, listen, they're not ready to start yet, so wait where you are and I'll tell you when they're ready to start. And he says, no, I'm coming down there because that's the time we're supposed to start. I'm coming. And he comes and he would rather wait there than people wait on him. So you have some people like that. Okay, so those chronic people, I hope that people listening to make changes in their life. That's how it is. Okay, my people. All right, so which one are we going to know? Let's go to this one. We did interrupt, fubbing, we did chronic lateness, upstaging. Let's talk about this clingy person. People don't like when people are very clingy. For some reason. Timothy wants to know if he could ask a worship-related question. Is the worship-related question related to the topic we're on, or you're going and ask a Bible question, and we have to segue into that? If it is related to this, you could ask it, or if you're not, then you could still post it. We might not be able to discuss it now, but we might be able to discuss it the next time. All right. So the clingy. Let's talk about this clingy person. Who is a clingy person? This is the person that asks for help with minor tasks. They really don't need the help, but they want to engage you. And they ask for favors. Do this for me. Just to, again, let you do things for them because they like the idea of either having you around or you doing things for them. Right? Charmaine says she's not a clingy person. How you know that, Charmaine? You have to ask your husband. You might be and you don't know. You might be clingy to your children too. Who knows? So the clingy person, according to the psychologist who wrote the article, says that these are bothersome habits of clingy person. And they said, one, asking for help with minor tasks, something that they can afford to do. Two, asking for favors and really returning those favors to other people. Asking for validation too often. You love me? You still love me? You're sure you love me? Why are you with me? Why is it you stay? Yeah? Always want that validation because they need to be reassured of their status. Using guilt, according to the author Alexandria, using guilt to manipulate others into talking. We don't talk. When last we talk? So you use guilt now so that they will say, okay, let's talk. Or spending time. We don't spend no time together. 2 days pass, we didn't spend time together. Or 2 weekends pass. And so on. We went nowhere. And using that to create guilt. And she says also wanting to be included in everything that the person is doing, even though it's not appropriate for them to be part of some of those things. So why I can't come with you? And wanting to be involved in so many stuff that really does not necessarily include them. Almost don't want to give the person a breathing space without them. They must be inside of everything. So let me see who are the clingy people online there now. Charmaine says she's not. I don't know. Sharon says she definitely is not. In fact, she says she do not like clinginess. Give me my space. All right. Charmaine says she doesn't ask for help often. All right. She's independent. Chef said anyone who is clingy have trust issues. All right. Sharon said, I don't need nobody reassure me. Joy, good night, everyone. Sorry to be late. Electricity just came back. Hey, all right, Joy. Rock and come in. Appreciate having you. Okay. So, where are we now? Did. Which is the next one that we're going to know? Let me see where we are. We talk about cleanliness. So we're going on to what? Number 6? Is 6 of them I promise all, right? Shamis, I'd rather stay by myself. I go where I have to and do what I have to. Okay. The complainer. The complainer. You hear what I said? The complainer. The complainer does one thing well. Complain. They complain about complaining. They constantly have something that they don't like. They could never sit down with you in a conversation and don't bring up something that upsets them. Say something that they don't appreciate. Correct you with something that you have done wrong. Talk about what you have not been doing and how inadequate you are, how unappreciative you are, how shortcoming you are in your personality, what you should have done for them, what you should have done. And the psychologist Alexandria, the author of the article, says that makes you disliked. That makes you that people don't like being around you. Sometimes there's a person in your work, my people. You work with somebody, and some of you all could actually think of somebody in work. Might be yourself, who knows? Who always complaining about something. I used to work with a girl. She complained so much about the place hot. That is why she has to leave early and go home because the place is too hot. You understand? The fan blowing hot air. Don't matter what it is, but she's complaining. So the organization put in an air condition in the place where she is. She settled down for a while and then she started going home early. Place too cold. I can't take this cold thing. My knees are start to hurt me. Gone home again. She used to complain about every living thing. She complained about the customers. She complained about this, that, and the other. It's as though she invented the complaint. Mental dysfunction, you call that, Hodge? If a brother is carried to lead in a particular aspect of worship and he was notified in advance and arrives to the assembly during the sermon, should he be allowed to lead? This is under lateness. Well, you know, one has to temper it with empathy and finding out, because what if the man on his way detoured because he helped out some old lady who was walking in the hot sun and he dropped her somewhere? You'll want to take that into consideration. This is why it has to be the chronic late person, somebody who's always late and late for no good reason. But yes, I have had times where I felt that somebody who is coming late and taking the worship very slight should not go up there, having walked in late and everybody else is there that you are serving. The people you are there to serve are there before you. I think that, yes, let the person sit out on that one, and if necessary, don't call on the person. Right? And he said he's always late. Shamish, I complain when I have to, which to me is annoying. So much time I say nothing. Rather quietly leave there than complain. You got to read between the lines. That's it. Okay. All right, people. Thank you. I really appreciate the sharing. So how many we give you all so far? Is it 5? It's 6 of them, man. All right. Whee! All right, so we have a little bit more time, and then I think I started about a minute late or so. So let me give you about 1 or 2 more now, just for good graces. All right. So this one, let me see how I could help you out with this one. All right. So we talk about the complainer last, the negativity, the people who talk things that are always negative. This is different from the complainer. The complainer always complains, but the person who is negative always have a bad spin on everything. That girl I don't like, she at all. I can't stand she. They have to tell you a story of somebody who did them something. They have to bring up something that went wrong. It always has a dampening, energy draining, spirit killing kind of attitude. But it seems as though they are built to give negative spin for almost everything. Even if something was good about it, they'll find a negative way to describe it. And unfortunately, that's how some people are. So that negative kind of spirit that the person has, this author is saying, makes that person also unlikable. All right. So let's see if we could give you this one. The impressionist. The impressionist. We're going to run along quickly then. I'm going to give you our next one. The impressionist is a person who like to show off, like to give you the impression as though, you know how much I pay for this? So I let you know how much money they are putting out on it. You know, they say poor people always have to boast about how much they pay for something. And the rich people seem to always talk about the value they get from something, which is different. So if I pay plenty for it, I may not even need to pay so much, but I get pride in saying how much I pay for it. So I paid $2,000 for this, you know. Whereas the rich people say, this is I got this thing here. This is a wonderful tool, and this gives me so much value. And they talk about the value of it. You understand? But these impressionists have to tell you who they know. I know this person. This person just called me. This person, me and that person is friend. So they always have to be praising themselves with either their associates, their possessions, about things that they have, their own jobs that they have. They have to impress you about, you know, sometimes when somebody asks you, so what job do you do? Many times they're not interested in what job you're doing. They're waiting for you to ask them back what job you do so that they will tell you. You see, after you proudly tell them, oh, yes, I'm a clerk too. You're a clerk too. Oh, I'm the general manager. I have a staff of 5. I have a staff of 8 people, 10 people that report to me. That's what they segue into, letting you know their position. Charmaine says she knows somebody, so I wonder who that. Marcia Saunders, what can come in, girl? What Rachel saying? Great session tonight. Keep up the wonderful job. Have a great night, everyone. Hey, wait, Rachel is gone. You're gone. You closing down my program, Rachel? Rachel, I didn't close off. All right. So that impression is, you watch that. That is a narcissistic person. When a guy has to take you out and to boast about the things he has and so on, or a girl has to take you, has to be in your presence and have to boast about who she is and how many people like her and how many people admire her dress and this and that. Why do they need to do that? I don't know, but it is an impressionist if you ask me. All right. So Let me. Okay. What time is it? Okay. Let me run down and give you about two more. People who preach. Preach meaning they like to talk and talk and talk and talk. They always have to explain something to you. You're in a conversation. They're not allowing conversation to run. You talk, I talk. You talk, I talk. No, they're not like that, They alone talk. And for the time they finish, they don't put a full stop, so you can't get a chance to get in a word edgewise because they're running on in a whole sequence. And then so. And the other day, and they go on off and so on. That is bad manners. Lacking social skills. Learn to ask questions and be interested in the other person more than you are to speak to them and tell them your stuff. Be interested in the other person. Be interested in their life. Let me give you another one. Number 10. Some people are obsessed. They're obsessed about certain things and they're obsessed about a particular conversation. They always have to tell about their grandchild. You can't talk about nobody else. They always have to tell about their children. They have to tell about your husband. They have to tell about their wife. They have to tell about their job. And they're not giving you a chance. They're obsessed in a conversation. And this obsession also leads to drama, which also is the 11th point. There are some people, every time you're with them, is some drama. Is some quarrel, some argument, something. Have you ever met somebody? Every time you sit down to talk to them, you have to fall out. You have to have an argument. These are dramatists. And number 12, the final one. I'm going to leave you all here and give you all a chance now after this. Somebody who is cheap. Because, things hard. Money doesn't really flow. But a cheap person, you say you buy this because you can afford it. But they would tell you, they don't find you should have buy that, you waste your money. It wasn't their money. They haven't paid a cent for it. So how could they tell you you should not have? And that's because they're holding on to money and they figure they don't want to release it and they want you to also do that. No, they are the ones who don't buy you any gifts. They are the ones who don't spend any money. Just let that person be. And people don't like cheap people. They don't like spendthrift either. But they don't like people who are cheap, miserly. They'll go a mile to save 50 cents when it costing them more to buy something for 50 cents less. You see? So, my people, that brings us down to the end of the program tonight. Let me remind you once again about our program that is coming up, and I want to invite you to go to the website and start to register, put down your name. Yes, we're talking about birth order and the whole birth order aspect and how that affects your personality. It might be able to save your relationship if you understand the issues that you all are having. It might be linked to your birth order and your personalities that you have. Yeah. So June 1st is that, but you need to register early. It's a virtual program. There you go. We see Sharon say she hates cheapskates. She said, I will go buy Wattams and buy a dress and let them talk. All right, my people. I think next week we're talking about things that make that women need to know, signals that men give that they're not interested in you. That's the one that we might go with next week. Because sometimes, you're asking yourself, so why, if he don't like me, why doesn't he leave? Well, there are some signals that you could watch. All right? So, okay. Love you all. And I want to wish you Godspeed. We'll see you again, God's willing. Bye now. Mike at night. Out of here.